My name is Benjy Malings. I'm the head chair of 6 Legal this year. My vice chairs are Serena Wang, Sherry Guo, and Emma Lautinen. And this year we're going to be talking about reforming the World Court ICC-ICJ system, as well as evaluating the responsibility to protect standard of international intervention. Yeah, I really like legal because for me, it takes a hard look at the UN itself, which for me is really important because I'm maybe less interested in the maybe numbers and figures and back and forth of policy debates, and I'm more interested in how we sort of set the groundwork and how we frame those issues and how we talk about those issues in the first place. And legal takes a hard look at the UN itself, how it does what it does, what actions are available to it, and that really interests me. And I think that's pretty unique. Sure. So twofold. So the world court system definitely has been in the news as of late. We have a whole sort of run of African countries pulling out of the International Criminal Court. We have a lot of instances where people are wondering why we haven't had a strong international sort of tool either against maybe war criminals, or in the case of the ICJ, we have these sort of long-standing territorial disputes, especially in East Asia or in Central Asia, and they're sort of ongoing. And so I'm interested in taking a look at the structures that we have, and I think it's really interesting to take a look at that now, and why we sort of haven't seen the kind of progress we thought we would. And with the responsibility to protect, we're at a time with very long-lasting and very unclear kind of potentially humanitarian crisis situations. Syria has been ongoing for 5 years now, and we have other ongoing, maybe newer conflicts in Myanmar and in other states. And we sort of see the international community paralyzed and unable to move forward. And we want to explore what the standards are for international action, and if these recent situations in the past half decade or so sort of force us to reevaluate our standards. So both very relevant, both really interesting to me, and both definitely in need of a newer and a harder look. I think one interesting thing about our committee is the ability to sort of look into the actions of other committees, that the Security Council being an obvious one. But we also have this year the European Court of Human Rights, and we're maybe interested in working with them based on our look at the world court system. So our committee could definitely be interesting in how it interacts with other committees, not necessarily in the traditional collaborative way, but maybe in a more sort of checks and balances kind of way, and maybe an interesting hard look at what other committees are doing, and maybe a hard look at what delegates themselves have proposed in conferences past. My biggest advice is always just follow your nose. If something interests you, even if it doesn't seem immediately relevant, just take that interest and see where it leads you. Because if you can develop your own kind of niche in your committee, in our committee especially, if there's maybe an event in world history or a mechanism of the sort of structures we're talking about that not a lot of other people know about, but that you know a lot about, you're going to be a great service to your committee. So definitely follow your nose, work with what interests you, and just run with it. That's my advice. I think I'm an appropriate level of an excitement. I'm going to maybe try and ramp it up and then hit sort of a critical mass right before conference and burst forward with more excitement than ever.